This is an example of the drawing exercises that we've been doing. The first thing I want you to do is to do some exercises to give us a bit of texture and for getting into the swing of things. And it's a blind contour drawing that I want you to do with your own hand. Now, the merit of this is to go slowly and to try and draw every single tiny little line that you can. Looking only at your hand and not at what you're doing, not at what you're drawing. So usually your hand would be further away, so you're not looking at your paper at all. I'm just putting my hand close just so you can kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to start with this line running through here, and I'm going to expand out from there. So don't use a pencil that's under a B lead if you can. Just going slowly. If things look a little bit darker, then move them away. A good way to make sure that you're not just getting a drawing of a hand, that you're focusing on just the lines, is to lift your pencil, look away, put it back down, and then carry on with where you were. So now I'm trying to draw these little fractured lines through here, and you can see there's a few that go off that way, so a darker one. These ones are a bit lighter, and then there's all these tiny little fine lines that I can see, almost like fingerprint lines. Coming through, drawing down here now. I can jump back up here somewhere and start drawing this line, and now I move over to the edge of the hand. But the finger, when I'm drawing the finger, it's not just to kind of sausage sew it right down all the little bumps and the lines that coming off it. There's hundreds of thousands, now I'm drawing this bit here, hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of little tiny lines coming off. Even the pigmentation in the skin, I can do some of those shadows to indicate that kind of pigmentation. And so you just keep moving along like that. Now the next thing to do is try and do your hand is to change the medium. So if we're not using pencil, I'll start by drawing down here. We can use pen. Try not to get too sketchy, other than little bits where you're filling in a bit of dark colour. Don't try and sketch the lines in. Try and keep them clean and working as single lines. Not looking at what you're drawing, just looking at your hand at this stage. Again, lift up, move around, go back, and continue drawing. Alright, after I've done one like that, change again. The more materials, the better. So now I'm going to use a paintbrush tool, but I've got a thick, I think this is about a 4B pencil, everything from brushes, brush and ink is a really good one to use. Huge felt pen markers, everything. The more variety, the better. So I'll just grab my, head up, paintbrush, because this again is going to give. Now I'm going to try drawing one of the fingers. Push a bit harder where those lines are. No finger is just Great. So the point of this exercise is you're trying to observe, trying to look at everything and get all the tiny little bits of detail, because usually typically we spend 90% of our time looking at the drawing and not at the object. And it's because we work in signs and symbols. We know what a hand looks like, so our mind takes over and starts to draw on what it thinks we're looking at. So in the end, what you will end up with is just a jumble of lines. But because of the way we're going to use it in Photoshop, that's perfect. This is exactly what we want.